Hey gang, in the video today, I want to talk about the one thing that all of these new year processes, new year things miss. Look, make no mistake, goals are good. It helps you point out a direction. If you don't have any goals and you don't have a direction, then what I'm about to show you is going to be super effective either way. And I'm telling you this because I completely failed it this week. Not exactly, I'll tell you in a minute. First of all, let me just tell you exactly what it is. It's processes, right? Whether you've got goals or you don't have goals, it's the processes that make all the difference. So what do I mean by a process? I'll give you one of mine that I do consistently is 50 minutes of writing every single day. That's a commitment I've made to myself, and that's something I do every single day. Do I do it religiously? Almost. Have I missed a couple of times this year or in the past 12 months? Yes, I have. Did I beat myself up over it? No, I didn't. Did I make sure I did it the next day? Yes. The worst was 2 days, but I was traveling and it made total sense. The most important thing about the process is that it's something that is repeatable and consistent. The other important thing about a process is it's constrained. Now, that can be time constraints, like a box, like a classic critical focus time, CFT, which you hear me talking about all the time. I use these constantly. Indeed, a 50-minute writing period is just a fancy way of saying one CFT's worth of writing. So it's a time constrained box. It's very important that whatever your processes are, which are going to move you towards your goals, are time constrained. Too many times in the challenges over the years, we'd see people get a run on and they get all enthusiastic and they'd spend 7 hours doing something. First of all, you never do 7 hours of anything effectively. The best professionals on the planet have about 4 hours in them a day if they're experts, if they're absolute experts of creative activity. So it's very important, particularly when you're starting out, that you keep that time box and those constraints really small and build that muscle up. The other thing I'm a huge fan of is making sure you do these at your best energy time of the day. And if you're not sure what your best energy time of the day is, then I would really recommend that you do it first thing in the morning. That's when I do my most important CFTs. My 50 minutes writing is literally the first thing after I do a couple of other little sort of processes and wash my face and have my bulletproof coffee. Bam, straight into the 50 minutes of writing. And then it's done for the day, right? And it's great. And I feel great. It puts me in flow. It's a great process. It's interesting, actually, since I've moved here, over there, the sun rises every morning. It's beautiful. And before the sun rises, I can see the moon and Venus, which they call the morning star, right? And it's become my favorite part of the day. Just having that sunrise and watching the sunrise has been really cool. I know it sounds a bit weird, but honestly, for me, it has been wonderful. I really enjoy it. I heartily recommend. So how did I stuff up this week? I'll tell you exactly. It's the first working week of the year. And of course, I was super excited and I've got my goals for the year, my directions. For example, very relevant to this channel, is that we're going to do an AI-based 30-day challenge in the summer, right? Very important. That's a goal. That's the direction I want to go. It's a whole bunch of stuff that will need to happen to hit that goal. And that's fine. But then I have to ask myself, what are the processes that support that? And the most obvious one is dedicating the time to do it. It reminds me a bit of the book, How Will You Measure Your Life by Clayton Christensen and a good Twitter friend of mine, James Allworth. In fact, flashback, it was the book of the year in 2012 on this channel. I'm sure still as relevant today as ever. Anyway, point being is one of those things was measure the person, if you will, by what they do and not what they say. Or what you've heard, observe your own actions. There's many ways you can apply this rule. It's a great fundamental. This week, it's the start of the new year and I was so excited, had all of these processes created and designed, just all super ready to go. and got into the week, had some crazy, incredible stuff happen, like off the chart stuff, which I'll talk to you about another time. But I missed a bunch of my processes, the things that I decided that were the most important thing to me. Did I beat myself up about it? Yes. Did I go on YouTube and tell the multitudes about my failures? Yes. You're probably wondering why you're still here. Stay with me for a second. There is a point. I did those things, but I also pretty quickly realized that, look, there's dare I say it, a process for this. If you look at all of the lean strategies, Scrum and Agile and all of these things, there's something when you miss out doing all the tickets that you committed to, there's no use doubling down, trying to do double the tickets next week to catch up. It never works. Never, ever works. The best thing to do is to halve your commitments. So whatever the number of processes that I committed to at the start of this week, next week, I am going to halve them. I'm going to prune maliciously. But Ed, isn't that drastic? Could be. But until I give myself a week of wins, I'd much rather make it easy for me to win and bring the momentum forward than only do it by one and realize, oh, I didn't spend another week of failure because I didn't do another process. It's much smarter to prune them right back. And then as you get consistent, then add something else. So if you're doing this process for the first time, my advice to you is to pick one thing that will support your goal. Or indeed, if you don't have a particular goal or direction or you're lost, what's one process that you can commit to doing and finding out what that thing will be? That's where you need to go. Oh, and I should mention, I put a lot of information. Remember, I like writing. It's one of my processes. In the little blue report, there's a link down below. If you subscribe to that, it's totally free. There is a paid version, which gets extra stuff for my paid legend, awesome people. But I put in there a lot of the stuff and I publish more stuff during the week as well as supporting these videos. Please make sure, if you haven't already, can you like this video? It really helps discoverability, and make sure you subscribe and ring the bell, as the kids say. One thing I'd love to know from you, what's your process? Either something that's really supported and benefited you. We'd love to hear about it because I'm sure others will get inspiration from some of your processes. Or what's one you're going to commit to this week? What's a process that you are going to commit to? Because we all know, and it's science, people, it's got to be true. If you commit to something in public, you are way more likely to do it. Think of it as a free service in the comment section below. I will certainly look at it. I look at all the comments. Hey, have a great week. Don't forget to hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe to the newsletter. And yeah, let's get our processes right so we can make this year so much better than the year before.